Hello everybody and welcome back to OMB Reviews. I am the critic who is a cynic, and I just got out of seeing Top Gun 2, Top Gun Maverick, coming at you with a car video review. And let me just say, this film was pretty much everything that I had wanted it and hoped it to be, and there really isn't that much as far as negatives to the film. So let me just go through this series of positives to say. First off, the cinematography is by far the best part of this film. I believe it was Claudia Miranda, if I'm not mistaken, who actually did the cinematography. But the way they were able to get these shots from inside of the actual jets, the way that they were able to get the external shots, every single thing about it was just phenomenal. And not just phenomenal from all of these new sequences and these new shots that we saw, but in the very beginning, and it's not really much of a spoiler, I guess, but in the very beginning, I think this is what a lot of people expected. There is definitely a throwback to the original film, and it even was able to copy some of the same shots or same angles of the original film and the opening of the original film. And I thought that that was a really cool homage, and it was done incredibly well. So not only were they able to recapture those same moments, but which even visually you're like, oh my goodness, this just feels like Top Gun. It feels exactly the way in which the original one did from the very beginning and onset. But then all of these new shots they were able to integrate with the new technologies, obviously, that we have now with digital filmmaking, and the ability to get these cameras attached to these jets and inside of these jets, and have the actual actors inside of the jets as well, still just blew my mind. I mean, just seeing these things from the trailers alone was pretty impressive, but to just add to that the fact that you were actually able to almost feel exactly what the actors, obviously you weren't feeling those actual G-forces that they were feeling, but the way that it was shot was just so immersive, and it just put you into the cockpit and just made you feel as if you were feeling basically what they were going through, and it was phenomenal. So a huge shout out to Claudia Miranda, a huge shout out to cinematography and all of the camera operators, and really the entire cast and crew as well. And that's the other strong point of this film, is that the cast is fantastic. Tom Cruise gives it. This is not just a phone-in performance. There's some moments in there where you're like, dang, Tom Cruise is putting on the waterworks. He is showing some emotion. It's great. It's great to see him in the film. It's great to see Val Kilmer in the film. It's great to see Miles Teller. As many of you know who've been following me for a while, I'm a huge Miles Teller fan. Obviously, one of my favorite films of his was Whiplash from several years ago. If you've never seen that film, watch it. It's phenomenal. But he brings it in this film, obviously from the trailers. This is, not really much of a spoiler if you watch the trailers, but he is the son of Goose. And so just to have him in the film, he brought a great dynamic to it. That character and the relationship, obviously, to Maverick was a very interesting one. The story, too, was very strong. And even though some people have kind of talked about how the love interest and the love storyline with Jennifer Connelly's character seemed a little bit off, I must say that it fit. It wasn't just done for no reason. It wasn't just fluff. It actually added to part of the character that really, develops over the course of the film and matches very much what was originally presented in the original film. And so I thought that was a really cool way of being able to integrate it. And one could easily argue saying, well, yeah, but still the love interest being added in. But at the very least, it was a love interest that made sense. And that was something that they could have easily fallen away from, and luckily they did not. It was a love romance that made complete sense with the characters, and I thought that actually the chemistry between Tom Cruise and Jennifer Connelly was actually pretty good. Again, I thought that sequence was actually not as bad. Is it one of the weaker parts of the movie? Absolutely, because you're not in the jets, and that's exactly what people went to go see the film. What people wanted to go see the film for was all those jet sequences. So yes, it's not that, and so it's going to be, I guess, less than because of that. But is it bad? Absolutely not. It's again, I don't think nearly as bad as some people might indicate, or some people might try and say. Other than that, I mean, again, there's just so many positive things to say. Kudos to the fighter pilots who actually were flying those jets. Obviously the actors were in the jets and were in those passenger seats, experiencing the actual G-forces. And again, those amazing shots from inside of the jets, and even just from the outside of the jets, was phenomenal. The dogfight choreography as well. So again, that of course got to give a shout out to the fighter pilots that were actually flying those jets, and they did a phenomenal job. And again, this is something where it's a film that's exactly what it needs to be. This is how a sequel, especially a sequel after a long extended period of time from the original, needs to be. It respects the source material. It doesn't push any identity politics whatsoever. It instead just tells a good story. It's a continuation of the story that was left. It gives throwbacks to and respect to the original. It is able to give those homage moments. And if I had to say anything negative about the movie, and again, it's not really much of a spoiler either because I think it was expected, but the only thing I did not like was that Danger Zone was not played enough. I stayed through the credits because I was hoping and praying, okay, after the Lady Gaga song, which was okay, right, it was fine, but after that I was like, maybe, just maybe, you'll be able to play Danger Zone a little bit in the credits, and unfortunately, I can confirm that, one, there's no post-credit scene, and I wasn't expecting there to be. It's Top Gun, but also no Danger Zone in the credits either, and I was like, man, maybe, just maybe, if they could play it there, I could just, end on that, positive foot. But instead, you get to listen to Hans Zimmer's score or variation of the original score that was conducted by or was basically adapted in certain ways, because it's the same original score and theme that's just been again added to a little bit with Hans Zimmer. I thought that he did a good job as well. Music throughout the film is good too. Again, I would say that the score is definitely good. Nothing necessarily to write home about, but overall, the film is solid. Acting is solid. The writing is actually pretty solid for what this film is. Again, it doesn't try to be anything more than what it needs to be. And I think the film ends on a note that most people are going to be satisfied with, I personally think. So if I had to give this film a grade, I'm going to go ahead and give this film a solid A. I'm going to give it a solid A. And it comes down to the fact that what Tom Cruise, whether you're like him or not, a fan of him or not, what he was able to do with his actors, what he was able to do working with the fighter pilots, what he was able to do working with cinematographers, as a producer, what he was able to accomplish in this film was truly a feat. And it's amazing to see in IMAX. If you can afford to see it in IMAX, or if you have an AMC A-list account or something, I would highly recommend watching in IMAX. It just really does raise that experience. But again, I do have to give those kudos, and I do have to give those shout outs to Cruise for being able to bring this film together. 2 years in the making, and I'm so glad it lived up to my expectations. It pretty much matched them. I wouldn't say that it exceeded my expectations, but it definitely matched them. And I think a lot of people are going to be very happy with this movie. And I know that there's been a lot of people who have said a lot of positive things about this movie, and I can definitely confirm this movie is a lot of fun. So if you're looking just to have a fun time at the movie theater, and you're ready to watch a film without any identity politics shoved down your throat, and it be a good film to boot, right? It's just, luckily I can say that it's not just good because it's not woke. It's good because it's actually a good, fun film. This would be the film for you. But anyway, solid A from me. What are y'all's thoughts about it? Have you seen Top Gun 2, Top Gun Maverick? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you like this video, smash that like button, lap that fire button on Odyssey. Y'all are all amazing and beautiful people. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening. And as always, God bless. Before going any further, I wanted to give a very, very huge special shout out to one of my Valkyries, one of my longtime supporters, Tina B, the Empress of the Universe. Thank you so much for being a supporter and for being a mod on this channel. And now for a huge special shout out to all of my members who are at the Keeper of the Bifrost level and above on Patreon, Subscribestar, and Locals. So first on Patreon, Brandon, let's go Brandon, Christopher Bowman, Garrett Searles, Hymir Irie Hymason, Jacob from Holland, Jacob Juice, who you can check out on his Letterboxd. Jacob Juice is how you can find it. Jeffrey Toon, Joey Horn, Jonathan Carney, Laura, the Modern Major General Story, Mad Mike Jackson, Special shout out for him in a second. Mad Mitch Dunaway, Orange Hat Reviews. You can check out his channel, Orange Hat Reviews. Rosetta Ellen. You can check out her channel as well. Stan Andrian and Miss Martin Muses, who also has a YouTube channel. And a special shout out, as I mentioned, to Jacob Juice from Holland. Again, letterboxd.com/Jacob Juice for more information about him. And a special shout out to my members over on Subscribestar, Matt 317, Storm Tracker, The R, Fast Reaction, Mr. Roy, and a huge shout out to my newest Chosen of Valhalla member, Luka Illich. J-Rod, the Beer Guru, and ZK-Man. Thank y'all very much for supporting on Subscribestar. And to two of the members who are supporting me over on Locals, who asked for special shout-outs. First off, Minnesota hockey fan. Let's go. Let's get a hockey player. And UAB, Mad Dog, Mike Jackson for the win. Thank you very much for supporting me, and also Robert Barnes on Locals as well. Anyway, if you want a special shout out, and Brett D90 for that matter, if you want a special shout out at the end of every single video, please check out that top link at the very top of the video description. It'll give you more information about the different tiers and what you get every single month. Thank you guys for your love, for your patience, for this month's shout out video as well. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, God bless.